Hey everyone, it's Freddie back with another video today, and we are going to talk about effective time management techniques that you can implement into your business. So, obviously, I know we're all looking for, or at least I am, and it seems like most of the people I surround myself with are looking for ways to boost our productivity to make the most of our time. And so, I want to just highlight four time management techniques that I utilize and dive into one of them a little bit deeper to hopefully allow you to empower yourself to take control of your schedule and make sure that there's not any, um, you know, business driving required activities that keep getting pushed off to tomorrow's to-do list or next week's to-do list. So let's go ahead and hop right in. So the number one technique I employ into my business for time management is setting a cap on recurring meetings per week. So for me, that's 10 hours. I limit myself to being in and present at 10 hours of recurring meetings each week. That could be executive meetings, that could be team meetings, that could be even a role play, something that is recurring and on my schedule. I cap that at 10. If I find myself getting close to that 10 or being invited to a meeting that would push me over that 10, I'll then need to look and either remove a meeting from my schedule or say no, because I know that when I get over 10 hours a week of recurring meetings, it keeps me away from being able to focus on other essential tasks that I need to complete in order to continue growing my business and even at the very least maintaining my level of production. The second technique is I always plan my schedule ahead of time. I like to try and do it on Friday afternoon or Friday evening at the end of the day, but sometimes we're all racing out the door on Friday to go and enjoy our weekend. And so I also will carve out some time on my Sunday evening to do this. And what I'm doing is I'm just looking at my schedule before anyone else has really had a chance to try and get onto my calendar. And this is when I'll focus on creating blocks for appointments, maybe creating some blocks to take my dog to the dog park. But it's when I'm going to engineer and place some events on my calendar that I cannot miss that have to get done that week. And that really drives into kind of this third example, which is time blocking. So I create time blocks for any tasks that I have to do daily or weekly to ensure that my business moves forward seamlessly. Now, you may really need to create a list for yourself. And if you haven't, this is a great activity, but create a list for yourself of activities that you need to do every day and every week in order to keep growing your business and maintain its level of production. And then challenge yourself, really make sure that those are activities that are required. And then find times that you can fit those into your schedule so that they never get missed. And if you do this during your weekly schedule review on that Friday or Sunday, you're then not trying to fit them into an already packed schedule, and you are placing them at times that you will know you'll have the right energy, bandwidth, and focus to complete those tasks. And my fourth technique, I lied a little bit here. There's three techniques, and then we're going to elaborate on this fourth technique, and that is time blocking. And I want to give you some effective examples of ways that time blocking can be utilized in your real estate business. So the first one is email or inbox management. Now, I'm not time blocking hours and hours for my email management, but my goal here is to create a small window in the morning and a small window in the afternoon where I clean out my inbox and I respond to any action emails. I actually like to do this right after my prospecting in the morning and right after my follow up in the afternoon. One, so I'm not walking in and looking at emails for the day because we know that I could read an email that sucks me into a problem or I have to put out a fire and then I miss my prospecting time block, right? But it's also avoiding me from just getting to emails when I can throughout the day because it has that same effect. If I'm just getting to my emails when I can, the chances of me opening up an email, it's sucking me into a fire that I need to put out or a problem that I need to solve, it will take me away from something else or an activity that maybe I had scheduled or blocked at that time. So, by creating two small 15-minute time blocks at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, I can make sure that I get through my email and respond to action emails without upsetting or disrupting the rest of my schedule. The second way that I use time blocking in my business is appointment windows. So I time block either an hour and a half or 2 hours in the afternoons. For me, it's every other day, just how my schedule works. But for you, it might be every day. And this is when I'm available for appointments. if I'm looking at my schedule review for the week ahead of time and I know that I need to have an appointment with my client, John Smith, I'm going to schedule it in one of those appointment windows. But I also keep those windows open and never allow myself to be scheduled in recurring meetings, because the nature of our industry is I may take a phone call from a new lead, a referral, a neighbor, and I need to have an impromptu meeting to go ahead and capture that business. Now, of course, if I can, I'm going to try and take control of my calendar and set that appointment at a time that's available, that I'm available and works for me, so I'm not bending over backwards for my clients without the need to. But I can avoid even needing to do that if I always have appointment windows and I don't schedule anything but appointments in there. That way, I always make sure I have time for my other activities. I'm only going on appointments on a time of day that I know is a good time of day for me to go on appointments. And I'm also creating availability for myself to be able to be flexible and agile and jump into these impromptu appointments. The third way that I use time blocking in my business and with the agents and teams I coach is time blocking prospecting and time blocking follow up. So I really believe it's important to have two separate time blocks for your prospecting and your follow up. Both are required. Prospecting is going to help you meet new people. Prospecting is calling leads that you have not spoken with and that you have no relationship with. Personally, I focus on trying to make 30 of those calls every single day that I work. Those generally then create follow up if I don't set an appointment with that client and instantly start working with them. So it's important I create a second time block for follow up, as they're both integral parts of my business. Prospecting allows me to continue to increase my client list, and following up with that client list allows me to build deeper relationships so we actually end up working together. Both of these blocks are essential. They should not be compromised and they should not be overlapped. And this will ensure a steady flow of new clients for you. The fourth thing I do, and the fourth way I utilize time blocking in my schedule, is the homework block. So as you engage with leads, whether that's on your prospecting or your follow up, that generally will create additional tasks for you. Whether that's setting up an introduction to a lender or a vendor, creating a home search on your website, or preparing a CMA. If you can time block time for your homework that's created from your prospecting and your follow up, you'll avoid interrupting your prospecting and follow up flow. So rather than having a good conversation with a lead and then stopping my dialer and stopping prospecting and instantly going and setting up a search for them, I'm going to keep going with that good mojo I have from that good phone call. And I'm then going to keep calling through my list, either taking note that I need to go back and check the lead, John Smith, or creating a task for myself that's due during my homework time block. So I can just keep the ball rolling, focus on my prospecting, not get pulled out of that mode to be able to do the homework, but never allow myself to miss that homework because it's time blocked and scheduled into my calendar. If you can start creating a manageable schedule that you create the structure for, rather than having a calendar that you're like, oh my gosh, all these people are scheduling me and I'm here and then I'm there and I have no flow or structure to my calendar. But if you can create this structure and you are the one taking control of your calendar, you have immovable time blocks, you have immovable appointment blocks, and that's when you're taking your appointments, you will start to become far more efficient. You will get the same amount of work done in less time, and you will never find yourself sacrificing the most important activities that drive your business forward to focus on less important activities, because your schedule won't allow it anymore. It is permanently blocked in there that you need to get X, Y, and Z activities done because those are your highest dollar per hour activities. And you're not going to sacrifice those anymore. So I hope this video was helpful in guiding you towards an effective time management calendar, if you will. And I hope that it will help you stay organized and be intentional with your time. And if you have any questions or you are just curious to learn a little bit more about how we can help you take control of your calendar, let us know in the comments, respond to an email, talk to us on any of our social channels. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day, everyone.